The consciousness and the cosmos, a path to one's own inner cosmos, in assistance of a more profound understanding of the current planetary transition. A stimuli that accompany the pilgrim in his return to his cosmic home. The theme for today's podcast is to live without asking for anything, to have an internal connection and stable synchronization with it. Whether consciously or not, the ambition present in humanity is in some way a demand or request to the Creator. Ambition is energy that demands. The ambitious one is not willing to grant the internal cycles the practical offering that is made available to us at each stage. The ambition to make our help effective, for example, is not different from the ambition for material goods, status, power, or any other matter. Sometimes this ambition to help or to achieve positive results for what we believe in something in particular is not recognized by those who suffer from it in any way, other way than as an eagerness to serve. In these times marked by humanity's internal distancing from its internal and superior counterpart, some beings who nourish and are nourished by this eagerness to serve seek to satisfy this muffled, this dull, muffled type of ambition by making requests of the Creator regarding those issues that they supposed must be resolved according to the references of their own requests or prayers to God. Earth's energy operates as a harmonizer of this irregular and primitive condition of asking the creation. The stimuli that foster gradual religiosity allows the individual to enter a state of deep receptivity, no longer seek to ask anything of the immutable. His attitude and intention are to accept everything that is placed before him as the most indicated and necessary for the cycle through which he passes. Reconciled to his own center of life, his understanding becomes an effective communion that transcends the mere interpretation of the higher will in action and presence. In the early stages, through basic aspects of free will and the practice of asking the immutable for positive gifts, humanity gradually came to understand the relation between the superior and the beneficial. Thus, during a specific cycle, asking with a certain favor and an exclusively positive orientation served humanity by granting opportunities to make an effective approach to the unique. Current solar cycle that the Earth must undertake requires a degree of acceptance and receptivity on the part of the human beings of the surface of the planet. Therefore, the receptivity is not enabled as a potential in those who ask or beg God for anything. Beings who do not understand that the condition of the immutability of the unique, who must be defined as immutable, is the only evolutionary guarantee that they have. The incomprehension that it is the individuals who must change and transform themselves leads us to demand mobilization from the unique and immutable. When a situation is not accepted by us, when we do not know the karmic foundations that sustained it, and when we wish that situation to be altered, given its impact on us, we close ourselves off to everything and to any learning it seeks to offer our consciousness. It is not strange that we pray to the immutable to change his opinion regarding the constitution of what which displeases us. That must be changed for our peace of mind and satisfaction, regardless that the laws that secretly offer us their support when a certain situation arises, so that we can practice dealing with it adequately. Most of those who ask do not understand that every situation they participate in is what they need. Their disadvantages lay in an irregular and unstable personal and intimate relationship with the internal law. As long as they ask the immutable laws to mutate for their benefit without any transformation taking place in them, the continuation of their discomfort and uncertainty will be extended. The hierarchy of ergs says, many will practice to establish themselves around our energy, but that which they desire does not enable them to do so. The battle will be fought in every corner of this orb. Ambition will exhaust all its possibilities, and you will see how beings who could walk the path of surrender to the One will behave as if they were sorcerers. The group scattered throughout the planetary service will be tested in direct relation to what was offered to them as inner support. Transmuting about your reality must for you be the result of your training, attunement, and obedience. When you provide information about the inner worlds, you should do it in the same way as when you stand by a stream, knowing that the water's flow in response to the law and not to your presence. What you can offer must have the support that only energy can offer. Without that support, all that you could offer to the world would only serve to confirm its current chaotic state. While we are giving a talk to a group of visitors, one of them asked us for further information about Earth's civilization. According to her, the available material was insufficient to satisfy the curiosity that Earth, like so many other intraterrestrial civilizations and centers, aroused in an increasing number of individuals and groups. In the same way, other people seek to deepen these realities in response to the dissatisfaction arising from the mentioned curiosity. Dissatisfaction stems from the remnants of stages when the analytical mind had to participate a certain role. Thus, more and more people consume superior information regarding the various aspects of the internal reality. There is a growing number of beings that, interfered by the psychic layer, offer through different means the product of their lack of attunement and enlightenment, subtracting even more crystallization from a level of consciousness that, due to its current disidentification, attempts to oppose the subtle aspects that should be deepened. The present book was formed in cycles, some of them widely spaced. The energy was present in the form of stimuli, confirming a continuity within the allowed continuity within that allowed the action of writing to proceed as if it had not been given in specific stages. In this way, we could offer a course on different questions without neglecting the fields in which they arose. We knew that our commitment to the manifestation of these writings was still valid for the energy that stimulated them from the internal planes and levels, since we gave ourselves to them for their manifestation in whatever way was required. Urauma, as well as other consciousnesses linked to X, accompanies the purifying and amplifying processes of our group. Some of the most significant fissures within the group aura spectrum became recipients of deep healing energy. Everything you do to manifest a stable harmony, you do it with us. Reinforce your connection with the inner law, as it was taught to you thousands of years ago, and everything else will be given to you in return. Do not limit yourself to limiting us. It is in your hands to reorient your bonds with the inner world. You are in ergs, living aspects of transmutation and asceticism that cannot be delayed. Even without awareness of this, you are moving forward internally without interruption. See the surface of this planet as a crystal that you must clear of residues and adhesions through your own polishing and transmutation. The light of the inner worlds already shines in you, and you pour it out as you remain devoted to the liberation of the essence. Urauma, as energy, was perceived in a precise way. Consciously registering its presence or attendance on certain occasions was part of our learning process, says Daniel Gagliardo in his book. This should not be misunderstood, confusing our perception of this higher consciousness with some involvement on its part in problem solving or the resolution of satisfaction. The fact that we were allowed to perceive its presence to varying degrees and only occasionally is deeply related to the symbolic understanding that every situation has various components, forces, laws, and energies that operate and interact at different levels of consciousness. I remember once, says Daniel Gagliardo, when someone extremely unbalanced was looking to involve us in a situation that we perceived ourselves to be alienated from. We understood that if the energy placed us there, it was only to collaborate with the harmonization of this person to a certain degree. During the time that the situation demanded, we were able to intuitively appreciate the presence of a being of light operating from the internal levels. We are also allowed to understand the bond, the internal and my own inner consciousness were part of a larger energy juncture, absolutely invisible to me, where the evolutionary process of the one who was receiving assistance was gradually being harmonized. Gradually, the vibratory pattern began to rise, and the softening of this person's disengagement and imbalance led to a calm that was unthinkable moments before. In this way, also the subtle activity of Urauma could, during certain cycles, be perceived closer to our felt of consciousness. When certain hierarchies begin to radiate in a particular way to a group, when their approach is established stably, we are before a certain stage of transcendence. So, our group should see this new stage of the approach of Eric's civilization, a cycle where the transcendence on some punctual aspects had to be specified. It was in those moments that the energy moved people who had been able to respond only in a limited way. Some of them sought to strengthen what they had insufficiently experienced upon to that moment by joining other groups, where the establishment of relationships with the weight of the preconceptions they carried could be established with greater lightness. Others returned to the system they had tried to transcend when they decided to live in Cielo del Cielo.
An in-depth exploration of cosmic life, spiritual laws, offering guidance for the current planetary transition. A collection of quotes featuring insightful recordings of Daniel Gagliardo's teachings, the founder and instructor of Cosmosophy, line Uksim.
you.